Hello! Today we're going to make this fun emoji smiling with heart eyes pillow. It's really fun to make. It measures about 10 inches across and down for a circle. It's a great way to make a fun little pillow and spread a little smile to someone. Alright, so what you're going to need is your end hook 9mm. You're going to need a needle with a nice thick eye, or a nice open eye, because we're going to be using chunky yarn today. And you're going to need some bright yellow chunky number 5. This, I believe, is I Love This Yarn Chunky from Hobby Lobby. You can use the Charisma Chunky from Michaels, or Red Heart Chunky, or any chunky yarn that you want. And also, if you don't have chunky yarn and you want to make this pattern, two strands of worsted weight number 4 will work just fine. Just stitch with 2 strands of yarn instead of 1 if you're going to use worsted weight. But you're going to need a bright yellow. You're going to need some red for the heart eyes. You're going to need some black, just a little bit, and I'm going to be using 2 strands of worsted weight for the black, which is the smile, because it's just embroidered on. And then you're going to need just a little bit of stuffing, and I'm using polyester fiber fill. It's just a little bit that I have on hand here. You can use leftover yarn scraps. You can use socks that are left over, you know, mix match socks, whatever you want to use to stuff the inside. I just like using polyester fiber fill because I think it works great. And that's about all you need, and you will need a pair of scissors, don't forget that. And that's all you need. Now this is a free pattern on my blog. It's just called the Emoji Smile Pillow or something like that. And I'll put that link in the comments. And what I'm doing with this pillow is I'm encouraging people to make them and give them away. Hide in places with a little tag that says, "Have a great day." Because you can make a bunch of these. They're really easy to make and fun. So I was thinking it would be fun to put the smile on the one side and put the tears on the other. But then I thought, I don't want a sad pillow. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move my screen down, move my yarns around so we can start with the yellow one. Alrighty. Let's bring it in just a little more. There we go. Now we're going to be starting with the yellow, of course, and our end hook. Now there's 2 end hooks. Make sure you get the one that is the 9mm. There's a 10mm, I believe, also. And it's a little bigger. Even if you're using 2 strands of worsted weight, make sure you use your end hook. And we're going to get started with our slip knot. Then we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got my stuffing in the way there. I'm going to get my yarn over here. There we go. Now we're going to be the first 3 chains counts as our first double crochet, and then we're going to put 9 double crochets in the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, join to the top of that 3rd chain that counts as our first double crochet. Just put your hook through, pull up a loop, pull that loop through. That's a slip stitch, and then chain 1, 2, and 3. Now, you may have a hole in the center. When we begin, make sure you leave about 6 inches to start, because when we're all done, we're going to use a needle and I'll show you how to close that hole. Okay, and it happens when you start it this way. So now for row 2, we've got row 1 done. We're going to put 1 double crochet in the same stitch as that chain 3, and then we're going to put 2 double crochets in each double crochet around, and that will give us 20 double crochets. And what we're doing is we're making just a nice flat circle. If you're using 2 strands of worsted weight, something that I do when I'm going to do 2 strands of worsted weight is I pull the string from the center of the skein, however you say that. I've heard it said different ways. And then I pull one from the outside and put them together. That way I don't have to use 2. Sometimes if I have a large project, I'll roll half of it in a ball, and then then I'll have a ball for one and the rest of the skein for the other. But either way works great. I like using this chunky yarn because it's really soft. This is the I Love Yarn Chunky from Hobby Lobby. And Charisma, the Chunky Charisma from Michaels is really nice. Joann's has a really nice soft chunky as well. All right, let's count these. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I thought I needed 2 more. And 20. So for row 2, we have 20 stitches. We're going to join to the top of that chain 3 like we did on the first row. Slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to put 1 double crochet in the same stitch as the chain, and then we're going to put 2 double crochets in each stitch around again. And this will give us 40 double crochets. We want it nice and flat so it makes a nice pillow. And by the way, this hook that I'm using, I added this on it because these great big hooks are hard for me to hold, and this really helps a lot. This is that polymer clay. One of these days I'm going to have to do a video about how I do those. Really super easy, and I just use my toaster oven. I don't even use my big oven, so it doesn't heat the whole house up. They're really, really easy. Unless you get into making all the canes and flowers and stuff. Now that is an art, and I haven't done those. Boy, I sure would love to learn that, though. That would be lots of fun. As we're working around this circle, it's a good idea to think about who would love to have one of these. Who do you think in your life might be having some struggles, or maybe going through a tough time, and you'd love to give them a smiley face pillow? My dogs are barking again. They're so silly. We live somewhat out in the country on 5 acres, and they love to bark at anything that goes by. Sometimes we get deer in the front yard or backyard, and other people walking their dogs, or even a car go by, because we don't get a lot of traffic because we're on the end of a circle. And so they're my little doorbells, my alarms. All right, but anyway, what I was saying is the idea of this little smiley face pillow is to see if we can cheer somebody else up by giving them a nice little pillow that says I care. And that's why I didn't want to, I said it would be fun to put a face on the back as well. But I just thought it would be a good idea. I've had a lot of friends going through some struggles, and I thought it would be a lot of fun just to make a little pillow that's soft and squishy, and you can give it to them and tell them to hug it. And anytime they're having a rough time and they need an extra little hug that little pillow and know that I'm giving them a hug and I'm praying for them. So that's kind of the idea behind why I started this little pattern. I just thought it would be fun. I love to cheer people up. And I don't like it when people are sad. Alrighty, let's make sure. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 26, 38, 40. Okay. We're going to join to the top of that chain 3. Pulled my arms back, didn't I? Alright, we got one more row. 1, 2, 3. And on this last row, we've got 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 4 rows. On this last row, we do it just a little bit different. We're going to put 1 double crochet in the same stitch as the chain. Then we're going to put 1 double crochet in the next 2 double crochets like this. And then we'll put 2 in the next. So basically we're doing 2 double crochets in 1 double crochet, and then 1 double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. And the reason we're doing this and not continuing with our flat is we do want it to arch a little bit, so that it's a little bit more pillow shaped. Now, if you want to make your pillow bigger, you can do another row of double crochets around and continue doing it that way so that it continues out flat. And that will give you a nice flat pillow, and if you want to make it bigger. But my thing here is I didn't want it to be very big. I wanted it to be quick to stitch up, fun to give, and just a little reminder that you're caring about that person that you're giving this pillow to. Now, you may be the one who needs the hug. So you're making a pillow to hug yourself. That's okay. Everybody needs extra hugs. Alrighty. See how it's not quite as flat there? It's arching just a little bit. That's exactly what we want it to do that way, because this is the last row. Now remember, you need to make 2 of these for your pillow. 1, 2. So that you have a front and you have a back. Now something you can do, you can make it different colors. I've seen smileys in pink. I've seen smileys in green. You could, if you have a friend that's having a rough time, you could make it in their favorite color. Wouldn't that be nice? Because the whole, like I said, the whole idea about this is make 2. Make 1 for yourself and 1 for a friend that might be going through a hard time. Wouldn't these be fun? A lot of times not a lot of times, sometimes I donate stuffed animals that I've made to the police department for young children who are involved in domestic abuse, and it's kind of nice. They give them a stuffed animal for them to hug, you know, when they have to pick them up from abusive homes and things. And I think this would be a wonderful thing to make, especially maybe even a teenager. You know, teenagers, I should say young teenagers, 13, you know, and above. But, you know, they're a little bit, you know, feeling like it's a little bit immature to stuff, maybe to hug maybe a teddy bear. But if you handed them a little smiley, you know, because they're so popular, maybe it'd make them feel a little bit better and they wouldn't be so embarrassed. That would be a great idea. Alrighty, let's get around here. 2, 1, 2. Almost. Few more stitches here. Now remember, with my YouTube videos, if you're ever watching and you get lost or confused, you can always pause them and you can always re-watch them. One person had told me that I go too fast, and I know I do go a little fast, but I'm trying to get all the information in without making the video last for hours, you know. So always, if you need to see that particular section again, just pause it and go back. That's the neat thing about YouTube. Watch it as many times as you want to. Alright, there's our last stitch. The last one is the 2. And you can see it arches a little, which is fine, because that's what we're looking for. We're going to go in the top of that chain 3, slip stitch, cut that off, and I'm going to turn it over to the back and just slip that through. and then I'll weave that in later. I want to show you how to close this hole real quick, because you're going to have a little hole. We're going to do this from the back side. This is your front and this is your back. Okay, now we're going to thread that on our needle just like that, and what we're going to do is we're going to go in those stitches just like this that are around that hole. Just sew around it just like that to get back to the top, and just pull that, and that will close that hole. And I just do a couple of quick whip stitches just to weave in the end, pull it again, and I just keep going around until I've used most of my thread up. Pull it nice and tight, and now your hole is closed. Now that's one. Now you'll need to make two, and I've already got another one made here. But before we do that, before we sew it together and stuff it, I want to show you how to make the eye. And this is the heart that we're going to make. So it's really simple. It looks complicated, but it's not. All right, slip stitch, and we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 3 triple crochets in the third chain from the hook. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do all of our stitching in that third chain from the hook. So we're doing 1 triple crochet. We're going to do 3 all together. So to do a triple crochet, yarn over twice, go in that same hole, pull a loop up. You'll have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the second 2, yarn over, go through the last 2. Got some more yarn here. We'll do another triple. 1, 2, 3. Now we're all going to work all of our stitches in this same hole. So now we're going to do 3 double crochets, and that's just 1, 2. My yarn's pulling again. Let me get some more yarn out here. All right, 1 more double crochet. You can see we're forming the first side of our heart. We're going to chain 1, and now we're going to do another triple. And this will make the point of our heart. 1, 2, 3. And see, you can see it starting to form the heart there, the whole side here with the point. We're going to chain 1, and now we're going to do, we chained 1 here, now we're going to do 3 double crochets like we did here. 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to end with 3 triples just like we did at the beginning to form this arch right here. So here's 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. Let me make sure. I think we chained 3 there. Let me check. Nope, we just chained 2. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Now we're going to go back in this hole, and we're going to do a slip stitch. Just like that. Pull that hook through there. And I want you to leave a long piece, about 18 inches, because we're going to use this to sew it on the pillow. So then we're going to pull that through, tie that off, and you can see we have a heart, but we have a hole again, right? So we're going to use this tie that we started with and do the same thing we did on the circle of the pillow. We're going to go around through these stitches, So we get back up to the top, pull that in and close that hole. There we go. And again, I just go back through, pull it tight, and then we can clip that. The needle down so I can. And now we have 2 heart eyes. All right, now I'm going to show you how to put the pillows together. Now, we have 2 circles. What you're going to do is you're going to put them right sides facing out. Tuck in your ends. Now, what I did is with my last circle, I left it hooked to the yarn. And that way I didn't have an extra piece of yarn to have to weave in. But if you disconnect it, that is totally fine. All right, what we're going to do, I'm going to show you. It doesn't matter where you start, but I like to start, you know, like this is where we ended. So I try to put those 2 ends together. And I weaved this one in so well, I can't even tell where I started. All right, that's okay. Put your hook through 2 loops on the front and 2 loops on the back. Now we have 54 stitches around, and you're going to be going through both sides. So put your yarn through. If you left your yarn attached, pull a loop up. If you didn't, attach it like this and chain 1. Snug that down. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go through each stitch going through both sides and single crochet. Just like this. Let me pull it down so you can see a little better. Go through those loops, those loops. Now, if you want, you can slip stitch. I just really like the way it looked with it being single crocheted. It gives you a nice finished edge. And we're going to do this all the way around. And you'll find with the chunky yarn or using 2 strands, you get a nice big stitch and it goes really fast. And that's what we'll do all the way around. Once you get to about right here, you want to leave this open. Take your stuffing and stuff it inside, and then continue to single crochet around and join. Let me pull this one back out so you can see. We single crocheted all the way around the edge after it was stuffed. We placed the eyes on and sewed them on. To embroidery the mouth, you're going to thread it on your needle, and you're going to make a straight stitch across and then do embroidery stitches all the way around. And what I did is I just stitched straight stitches all the way around. Then I did this part of the mouth. Then I went back under and I repeated this, and then I went all the way back around this way and repeated it here. That way it was nice and thick. And now the pillow is ready to give to a friend who needs a hug. Thanks for watching my YouTube video today, and I hope you will share this pillow with someone who needs a hug or to brighten someone's day. Or maybe you just need a hug. Be sure and like the video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.